Did you know that for every 3 bites of food you eat, you have a tiny, buzzing insect to thank? That's right, I'm talking about bees. These incredible creatures are so much more than just honeymakers. They're the unsung heroes of our ecosystem, and today, we are diving deep into their secret world. Get ready to have your mind blown by the complex society, amazing anatomy, and vital mission of the humble honeybee. Let's start by getting up close and personal. A bee is like a tiny, flying marvel of engineering. They have 5 eyes. 2 are the big, compound eyes you see, made up of thousands of tiny lenses, giving them a super wide view of the world and helping them spot flowers from afar. The other 3 are simple eyes, called ocelli, located on top of their head, which help them navigate using the sun's position, even on cloudy days. Pretty cool, right? Then there are their antennae. These aren't just for show. They're sophisticated sensory organs. Bees use them to smell nectar, communicate with other bees through touch, and even sense temperature and humidity inside the hive. They're basically the bee's version of a superpowered smartphone, all packed into 2 little feelers. And what about their wings? A bee's wings beat at an astonishing rate of over 200 times per second. This incredible speed is what creates their signature buzzing sound and allows them to carry heavy loads of pollen and nectar back to the hive. Speaking of the hive, let's talk about what goes on inside. A bee colony is one of the most organized societies in the animal kingdom, with a strict social structure. At the top, there's the one and only queen. Her sole job is to lay eggs, up to 2,000 a day. She is literally the mother of the entire colony. Next, we have the worker bees. These are all sterile females, and they are the true workhorses of the hive. Their jobs change as they get older. Young workers start with housekeeping duties, like cleaning the hive and feeding the larvae. As they mature, they move on to building the honeycomb with wax they produce from their own bodies, guarding the hive entrance, and eventually, they become foragers. These are the bees you see flitting from flower to flower, collecting nectar and pollen. They work themselves to death, quite literally, living for only about 6 weeks in the busy summer months. And finally, we have the drones. These are the male bees. You might think they have it easy, and in a way, they do. They don't have stingers, they don't collect food, and they don't do any work around the hive. Their one and only purpose is to mate with a new queen. It's a tough gig, though, because after they mate, they die. And any drones that aren't mated by the end of summer are kicked out of the hive to conserve resources for the winter. Harsh, but that's life in the hive. So how does this bustling city of thousands communicate? They dance. When a forager bee finds a fantastic source of nectar, she flies back to the hive and performs a special dance called the waggle dance. It's one of the most sophisticated forms of communication in the animal world. The dance is performed in a figure-8 pattern. The angle of the straight run in the middle tells the other bees the direction of the food source in relation to the sun. And the duration of the waggle tells them how far away it is. It's like a living GPS, a dance map that guides her sisters directly to the feast. And what do they do with all that nectar they collect? They make honey, of course. But it's not as simple as just spitting nectar into a jar. When a bee collects nectar, she stores it in a special honey stomach. Back at the hive, she passes the nectar to another worker bee, mouth to mouth. This process repeats, with each bee adding special enzymes from their bodies that break down the complex sugars in the nectar into simpler ones. This makes the nectar more digestible and helps protect it from bacteria. The bees then deposit this mixture into the honeycomb cells and fan it with their wings to evaporate the excess water. Once the water content is down to about 18%, they cap the cell with beeswax. And voila, you have honey. This incredible food source is packed with energy and can be stored indefinitely, providing the colony with the fuel they need to survive the long winter months. But as amazing as honey is, it's not the most important thing bees do. Their most critical job is pollination. As bees travel from flower to flower collecting nectar, pollen grains from the flower stamens stick to their fuzzy bodies. When they visit the next flower, some of this pollen rubs off onto the stigma, fertilizing the plant. This simple act is essential for the reproduction of over 75% of the world's flowering plants and food crops. Without bees, we would have no almonds, apples, blueberries, cucumbers, or coffee, just to name a few. Our plates would look very, very different. They are the cornerstone of biodiversity and our agricultural systems. Tragically, these vital pollinators are in serious trouble. You may have heard of colony collapse disorder, or CCD, a mysterious phenomenon where entire colonies of bees simply vanish, leaving behind their queen and honey stores. Scientists believe it's caused by a combination of factors, a perfect storm of threats. One of the biggest culprits is pesticides, particularly a class called neonicotinoids. They don't always kill bees outright, but they can damage their nervous systems, impairing their ability to navigate and forage, and weakening their immune systems. Habitat loss is another major issue. As we pave over meadows and replace diverse landscapes with single-crop farms, bees are losing the variety of flowers they need to maintain a healthy diet. A diet of just one type of pollen is like a human eating nothing but potatoes. You might survive, but you won't be healthy. And then there's climate change. Shifting weather patterns are causing flowers to bloom earlier or later than usual, creating a mismatch in timing with when bees are active and need to forage. Extreme weather events like droughts and floods also destroy their habitats and food sources. It's a grim picture, but the story isn't over. There is hope, and we all have a part to play in helping our fuzzy friends. You don't need to become a beekeeper to make a difference. The simplest and most effective thing you can do is to plant bee-friendly flowers in your garden, on your balcony, or even in a window box. Choose native plants and a variety of flowers that bloom throughout the seasons to provide a continuous food source. Daisies, lavender, sunflowers, and poppies are all great choices. You can also help by supporting local, organic farmers. Choosing organic produce reduces the demand for harmful pesticides. And when you buy local honey, you're not just getting a delicious treat, you're supporting local beekeepers who are on the front lines of bee conservation. Another simple tip: let the dandelions and clover in your lawn grow. What we see as weeds, bees see as a vital early season food source. So maybe skip mowing for a week or two. And finally, create a bee bath. A shallow dish of water with some pebbles or marbles for the bees to land on provides them with a safe place to drink, especially during hot weather. Bees are a small but mighty force of nature. They are the glue that holds our ecosystems together and the foundation of our food supply. Their complex world is a testament to the wonders of evolution, but it's a fragile world that's now under threat. By understanding their importance and taking small, simple steps to help them, we can ensure that their vital buzz continues for generations to come. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey into the secret world of bees. If you found this fascinating, please hit that like button and subscribe for more adventures into the natural world. Let me know in the comments what you're doing to help the bees. See you next time.